Hello agents, and welcome back to another Division build video. Today I've got a build video that actually includes the EMP sticky. I know it's getting a lot of flack right now, but actually I think it's really good in certain situations, and especially in a PvP situation. This is the build I put together. So as of right now, the DZ and conflict is all about skills. You can't get away from them, and this is basically the anti-skill build to take into PvP and actually do really well with it. Causes chaos because people start losing the shields, they don't know what to do, the hives aren't working because it just destroys them. It's actually pretty good. So first of all, what you'll notice is I'm running obviously with the EMP sticky bomb, and I've got the jammer pulse as my secondary. To make this effective, I'm running the tactician specialization because it gives us a skill tier. I'll go over that in a second. But as you just saw from the clips at the beginning of the video, as soon as I shot the EMP sticky bomb at the shield, it takes the shield down. But then, not just that, the minute I explode it, it actually causes the player to stagger, which in PvP, that is huge. That stagger time, you can be dead in that amount of time it takes for you to recover from that stagger. So it makes it an absolutely valuable tool. You can actually use this with any PvP build. So if you've got a PvP build that you love and you play every day with, if you can afford to put tactician on it, you can afford to put the sticky bomb on it as well, you're golden. You're absolutely golden. You're staggering players and you're causing a whole lot of issues in PvP. If you didn't know already, there's lots of builds already on YouTube and already running around the DZ and in conflict with the invulnerable shields because the jammer pulse just doesn't take them down. The sticky bomb, the minute it connects, it takes them down. So does the grenade, and then that's been around for much longer than the sticky bomb. And I think just because people can move out of its radius, I don't think people have actually noticed that actually the grenade was more powerful than the jammer pulse. So we're going to look at technician. As I was talking about before, we get the skill tier from it without having to run any yellows. And we actually do 12% more damage to skill proxies, which is why we're running this. And as well, we also get the linked laser pointer because we're going to be running spotter on the chest and we don't want to give up one of our skills for pulse. Looking at the weapons, you can go with whatever your choice is. I've gone with an AR build for this one. I've gone with the honey badger because it's really well rolled. But because we're doing PvP, get that high RPM AR or get the high RPM, whichever gun you want to use. That's certainly what counts in PvP. We're all about taking down shields and proxies and all the other things, so that's again why we're with the AR, because of the huge health damage that we get now. And damage to target out of cover is definitely best in slot at the bottom. I've gone with close and personal because in PvP it's a huge weapon damage boost, really good. And I wanted to try and stay away from the norm, the pestilences and the M1As with this build as well. I have got an M1A for long range combat as secondary, just in case. And then I've gone with the Liberty as I just love it as a pistol. Gone with the Hollow Man mask. It's actually masked in the DZ today. Go and get yourself one if you've not got one already, because it gives us some hazard protection. It gives us some extra health damage for the meaning of this build. And I've got full armor as my core attribute. I find that in a PvP build, you're definitely going to need 2 or 3 blue core attributes. Roll them wherever you like, guys. That's up to you. Depends on how well your gear has rolled already or what you've already got in your stash. But for me, I managed to put it on my mask and my hands without sacrificing any other damage anywhere else. I've got 5.2% critical hit chance because my priority is also rolling maximum crit chance. And I've got 11.4% in my critical hit damage mod slot. The chest piece, I've actually got 2-piece providence in this build, so as you can see from the brand set bonuses, I get headshot damage and critical hit chance. On this one I'm lucky enough to have 14.7% weapon damage, 11.3% critical hit damage, 9% headshot damage, and I put a critical hit damage mod in. We're running spotter, which amplifies total weapon damage and skill damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. So my pulses that I'm going to use do not work for this. It's the pointer that comes with the tactician, a specialization that activates spotters. Just be very careful when you do that. That's why this has to go together as a build. I didn't want to run glass cannon. The 60% incoming damage in PvP is just too much, especially if someone's running an M1A or if someone's running skill builds and you've not managed to take them out yet. We'll actually do the backpack next because it completes the 2-piece providence. 13.4% weapon damage. Just get these as max as you can. Crit chance, crit damage with a critical hit damage mod. But I've gone with Wicked because applying a status effect increases total weapon damage for 18% for 20 seconds, which is a really, really long time. And the fact I can just use my Jammer Pulse to apply a status effect to almost everybody around me with such a huge range, it's actually huge. It's absolutely huge. So really, really easy to get that extra 18% weapon damage, and it's for 20 seconds as well. So even if the EMP has worn off, it doesn't matter because we've got a full 20 seconds before we have to worry about reapplying it, and there's no cooldown. You can just reapply it again straight away. We'll go with the gloves next. Contractor's gloves, best in slot for many builds, but I've got roll blue on these ones. I've got damage to armor and critical hit chance. Fox's Pro, again, best in slot for all red builds, but also best in slot for this build. Weapon damage, damage to attack is out to cover, just totally too valuable to put anything else in this slot, and 12% critical hit damage. And then last, just to bump our critical hit chance up, we've got a Seska holster, 15% weapon damage, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance. So I'll just flick over to the stats before we go to the skills. As you can see, with my Honey Badger, I'm at 57.2%, so a couple of percent out. I would like to be higher, but at this point, it's not worth sacrificing any critical hit damage for it. I've got 125% critical hit damage, and I've got 94% headshot damage, with 8% armor damage and 31% health damage. Our PvP damage is 47k. And yeah, really, really good. Because when you go into the DZ or when you go into conflict, it's pretty much everybody's running a shield. Everyone's running a half shield. Everyone's running a hive. And they all start getting confused. You can see from the clips that I'll put at the end, the minute you start destroying the shields, they don't know what to do with themselves. I had a guy with a pistol build. I destroyed his full shield and he just didn't know what to do with himself because he was so dependent on that shield and he was so used to that shield never dying that he just didn't, the minute I flashed my pulse at him, he just didn't know what to do. So it's really, really fun, really, really good. But like I said before, you can apply the Tactician, you can apply the Sticky Bomb to any PvP build and it will still cause that same confusion. So we're going to look at the skills now. So obviously we're running the Jammer Pulse. The cooldown's only 27 seconds. Our radius get an extra 10% and an extra duration of 10% because of the Tactician. And then just mod that up the best you can. I've gone with some extra radius so that I can do it from behind walls. Really, really good in conflict in the DZ. And some extra duration because obviously as well, the longer it lasts, the more time you've got to get them dead. Next we'll look at the Sticky Bomb. The cooldown is only 26 seconds, and when you compare that to the other ones that are 40, then it's absolutely insane. Just don't forget as well, it staggers. So even players that are not running skills, you can stagger them and then engage, and it's pretty much a guaranteed win at that point. Because stagger is the worst thing in PvP. I've modded it with some extra haste so it comes back a little bit quicker. The blast radius is a little bit bigger because if you've got a team of people, as I think I showed, I actually blasted myself and 2 other players in the clip just before I started talking. But again, because of our specialisation, we get an extra 10% blast radius here as well and some extra duration. My SHD watch is maxed if anyone's wondering where I'm getting all my extra stats from. So I've got over 1,000, so do take that into account when you're speccing for your critical hit chance. And yeah, that's the build, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is it viable? Is it good? I certainly had a lot of fun with it. I did come up against situations like in PvP where you're going to get put on the floor. No matter what build you build, you're always going to run up against something that's going to put you on the floor. But I didn't have too many problems dealing with skills. Hives became no problems. Guys with pistol builds and big shields were no problem. And as a team, we pretty much dominated almost every match that we played, because they were all running high damage builds with all these other tips and tricks as well. They were all running hives and they were all running pestilences and all them other things that are don't feel that great. They feel dirty running them in PvP. But because they had me countering all the other teams' tactics and skills, it made it even easier for them. So yeah, really good fun, plenty of damage as well. But let me know how you get on, guys. If you built this build, let me know. If you built it better, let me know as always in the comments down below. But if you've just tried Tactician and you've tried staggering people with the new sticky bomb, let me know down below as well. I think it's pretty game breaking. The fact that you can also shoot it off really quickly. Just before I end the video, I'll show you. So you can be shooting at a target. Let's put it on invulnerable so you can see what I mean. So for instance, if you're wanting to take down a shield and you're waiting for your sticky to come back up perhaps, you can just tap your key and it's a straight shot. So you don't have to worry about coming off your shoot button or anything like that, because obviously that's going to impair you in PvP. You want to be doing as much damage as quickly as possible, but just tap that skill button and they'll be staggered, and therefore you've then won that fight. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think again in the comments down below. Come and check me out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE. Hit the subscribe button for more Division content and hit that bell so you get notified for when I do upload new videos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.